All right, let's get right into it. If you're an industrial systems integrator or a machine builder, you know that AI isn't just a buzzword anymore, it's a demand. But the big question is, where do you even begin? In this explainer, we're going to cut through all that hype and lay out a really clear, actionable framework to help you build smarter machines and deliver some serious value to your customers. Let's go. So let's just start with the big, uncomfortable question that I'm sure is on everyone's mind. You've seen the slick demos, you've heard all the promises, but when the rubber meets the road on the factory floor, why are so many industrial AI projects just falling flat? Well, the numbers, they're pretty staggering. Research from MIT found that a whopping 95% of AI investments completely fail to deliver on their promise. 95%. And it's not just that. Even for the projects that don't totally fail, Gartner data shows that 85% of them still miss expectations. So this isn't some small issue. This is pretty much the reality for most people trying to do this. So what is going on here? The key thing to realize is this. The problem is almost never the AI model itself. It's not about needing a fancier algorithm. It's about the missing system around it. It's kind of like trying to build a skyscraper on a pile of sand. The project fails because companies are chasing that shiny, advanced AI without building the foundation first. And that brings us to the core idea we're going to talk about today. If you want to succeed with AI, you have to stop treating it like some magic toolkit you can just sprinkle on top of everything. You've got to start treating it like a complete system, one that you build from the ground up. And that system? It's built in 5 distinct sequential layers. We start at the bottom with autonomous data. Then we build on top of that with expert systems. Then statistical prediction, then autonomous control, and finally, right at the top, contextual reasoning. Now, the most important thing to get here is that these are not optional. Each layer absolutely depends on the one below it. If you try to skip a layer, the whole thing just crumbles. Okay, so let's actually walk through this framework layer by layer. We're going to see exactly how this bottom-up approach lets you build the kind of intelligent machines your customers are asking for, and more importantly, how it delivers incredible, lasting value. Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here at Layer 1 Autonomous Data Systems. This is the absolute bedrock. We're talking about systems that automatically pump out clean, consistent, structured data. No one has to write anything down. Think sensor telemetry, PLC data, MES logs. Because without this, any AI you try to build is just pure guesswork. It's a non-starter. And here's a really critical point that most people miss. This foundational data isn't just for the ops guys on the floor. Just look at the value it creates for your customer's entire business. Their sales team now has hard ROI numbers to close bigger deals. Their marketing team gets powerful case studies built on real performance data. And for the service team, it's an early warning system that can prevent failures before they happen. Just getting this one layer right can totally transform a customer's business. Okay, so once we have that clean data flowing, we can move up to layer 2, expert systems. This is all about stabilizing the process. We take what people call tribal knowledge, the gut feelings and experience of your best operators, and we encode it into simple rules-based logic. If this happens, then do that. What this does is it creates a predictable, stable environment, which is an absolute must-have before you can even think about doing more advanced AI. And once again, just look at the value this unlocks across their whole company. Marketing can now talk about their machines being reliable and intelligent. The sales team can use rules to prevent expensive configuration mistakes before they happen. And operations can automate how they respond to common alarms. You're literally building discipline right into the machine itself. So now we have clean data and a stable process. Finally, we can confidently bring in the machine learning. This is layer 3, statistical prediction. Now, we're not just following rules anymore, we're using all that data to actually forecast what's going to happen, to detect anomalies before they become problems. This is that huge pivot point where you go from being reactive to being proactive. This layer, layer 3, is where the business model itself really starts to change. All of a sudden, your customer's sales team can offer uptime guarantees with total confidence. Their service department stops being a cost center that just puts out fires and becomes this proactive, value-driven engine. I mean, can you imagine the power of a marketing headline like "zero unplanned downtime for 14 straight months"? That's what this layer makes possible. Predicting the future is powerful, right? But you know what's even better? Acting on it automatically. And that's layer 4, adaptive control. This is where we close the loop. The AI doesn't just send an alert that a problem might happen anymore. It actively adjusts its own parameters in real time to make sure that problem never happens in the first place. This is where your machines become true premium assets. You're not just selling a piece of hardware anymore. You're selling a self-optimizing system. I mean, just think of the marketing power. Our machine cuts its own energy use by 18%. This lets your customers sell premium tiers, charge higher prices, all because the machine is smart enough to manage itself. And finally, we get to the very top of the pyramid, layer 5 contextual reasoning. This is that generative AI, the ChatGPT layer that gets all the headlines. It's the AI that can interpret data, reason about it, and explain the why behind what's happening. But, and this is probably the single most important takeaway from this whole explainer, without the ground truth, the real data from those first 4 layers, this reasoning layer is completely useless in an industrial setting. It will just make stuff up, it'll hallucinate, and that's not just unhelpful, it's actually dangerous. But when you build it on that solid foundation, these reasoning systems become like expert co-pilots for every single department. You could have a service co-pilot that tells a technician a machine's entire history, or a sales co-pilot that recommends an add-on because it's looking at real-time performance data from a customer's actual machine. It connects all the dots. So the path forward starts to look really clear, right? Everyone wants those cool features you get up at layer 5, but the leaders, the ones who actually succeed, are the ones who start by methodically building the architecture from layer 1 up. AI isn't a feature, it's an architecture. So here it is, your actionable roadmap to guide your customers. First, assess where they really are across these 5 layers. Next, prioritize fixing the bottlenecks in the lowest layers first. Don't try to jump ahead. Then you sequence your investments, you integrate everything into one coherent stack, and only then do you scale up. This deliberate step-by-step plan is what will separate you from that 95% that fail. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Building this whole 5-layer architecture, it sounds like a lot of work. But you don't have to do it from scratch, and that's where we come in. We built Machine Edge specifically to give you the building blocks for this exact framework, to empower machine builders and integrators just like you to get this right. We give you purpose-built tools to make your journey through each layer way faster. For layer 1, that's pre-validated hardware so you can trust your data from day 1. For layer 2, it's standardized pipelines that make building rules really low risk. And for layer 3, it means you can deploy powerful predictive models in just days, not months, and you don't need a PhD in data science on your team. We give you all the pieces for a successful system. So this framework really gives you a clear choice. You can keep going down that traditional, frustrating path of scattered AI pilots and huge custom overhead, the path we already know has a 95% failure rate. Or you can take the Machine Edge path, a systematic approach that proves its value in days, not months, and lets you deliver AI-powered machines without the massive cost of hiring a dedicated AI team. Look, the bottom line is this. Machine Edge is designed to help you succeed where so many others have failed. We help you prove the value of AI in days, not months. We let you add intelligence to your machines while actually protecting your hard-earned margins. And we make it possible to launch new, high-value service models. We give you the platform to productize your expertise and deliver smarter machines way faster and more profitably than ever before. So I'll just leave you with this one critical question. As you're planning your next project, ask yourself, is the AI strategy you're building for your customers based on hype, or is it built on a solid foundation? Because the answer to that question will determine your success. Thanks for your time.